Shalom family. Yes, this is your brother Dana, and I'm coming to you from the city of Atlanta, from a place in One Love. If you didn't know, you'll know now that my awakening into the revelation of who you, the true chosen people, are, my black brothers and sisters, did not come from a man or watching a video or seeing a documentary. But several years ago, I believe it was the days following the death of Eric Gardner. After being in the inner city since 1994, I could no longer handle the religion of Christianity and the church that I had dedicated my life to. Could no longer handle its fruit. I could no longer handle its wickedness. I could no longer handle its racism and its white supremacy ways. And every time I would go to find a biblical, theological explanation to the injustices on our black brothers and sisters, their answers in the closet. Well, Brother Dana, it's the curse of Ham. Yet I was taught by you that the blood of Jesus takes away curses, whether they're generational or family. So how does that line up? And then finally, well, Brother Dana, there's things we just don't understand. But also look at it this way. Slavery removes people from a culture that worshiped the devil, practiced witchcraft and sorcery like they did in Africa, as we now see in Haiti and other places where God is still holding his wrath when you look at Africa and you look at Haiti and the suffering they have. I got to a point where I was done. Because what I figured then is that the God that Christianity served was a white supremacist God himself. And that is when late that Saturday night, I told God to F off. Because I was no longer going to serve a God that was racist and hated blacks. And thus, I understand the fruit. But it was his voice that let me know that you were his chosen. And from there, the lies of Christianity and the indoctrination that I had been swimming in has caused me to jump outside of that box. And yes, family, I am enjoying the Nag Hammadi scriptures. I am enjoying the Apocrypha, the complete Apocrypha. I am enjoying the volumes of the Old Testament pseudepigrapha, and I'm also enjoying the remembrance, the book of remembrance of our ancient grandmothers. Because see, even as Jeremiah said that one day the Gentiles will wake up across the world and recognize that my forefathers not only taught lies to keep you from knowing who you are, but those lies now have kept me blinded as well. But see, now that my eyes are open and I know the depth of wickedness and corruption, I see it even in our physical education system with their refusal of critical race theory. So if I stayed within those books, if I stayed within what was approved by this white supremacist nation in learning about your history, I will never know your true history. I can rearrange it. I might learn a few additional things, but everything is going to still be within a box of lies, of not the full truth. Therefore, in the spiritual realm, I will no longer stay within their 66 books. And these videos are going to be that journey of exploring the truth outside of that indoctrination. I sometimes feel like Paul, where, I go to seminary school, strong evangelical, biblical upbringing, to now have to not just regurgitate and vomit that out, but wrestle with the things that come in new. And understand that the very foundation of what I would determine as right or wrong was given to me by the enemy, who spiritually did not want you, his true chosen people, to know who you are spiritually and the gifts and the abilities of that truth that lie within you. And thus is why some of you, my Hebrew family members who are set in those 66, I say shalom. But the Most High Yah has brought me some incredible Hebrew mentors. And after these years of taking that in, I am now stepping out to share some of these things with you. Like I said, what really showed me the truth of the Christian church and the theology. So, yeah, you might have a good church here. You might have a bad church here per se. But the theology is producing a fruit of racist, ungodly people. And so Luke 6:43-45 says, "For if a good tree does not bear bad fruit, a bad tree will not bear good fruit. For every tree is known by its own fruit. For men do not gather figs from thorns, nor do they gather grapes from a bramble bush. A good man out of the good treasures of his heart brings forth good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart brings forth evil. For out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks." So if that's true with a human being, if that's true with me, that my fruit will let you know where my heart is, then when I see the fruit of the Catholic or the Christian church and the theology of the 66 books that they stand on, when I see that fruit, that's their heart, is their theology. And when I see it bad, then I am going to step outside of their theology. I'm going to step outside of the books that keep them in their theology, because perhaps the books outside of those are the books that really are for those who seek to know the true God and his people. So let's look at the history, okay? Let's look at the history of the Catholic Church. And I'm not going into great detail about all these facts. I'm giving you hopefully enough information that I have brought in myself to encourage you as we journey together to come out of this indoctrination and not to be afraid to look into these other books that my people have told you are evil. So the start of the Catholic Church, according to Catholic tradition, the Catholic Church was founded by Jesus Christ, okay? The New Testament records Jesus' activities and teaching, his appointment of the 12 apostles, and his instructions to them to continue his work. So let's even give the Catholic Church, Catholicism, credit for building the foundation of their church on Jesus Christ. Let's look at their fruit. Let's look at who they deem as this great man who decides when certain laws or certain things can be changed or transformed, the Pope. Well, if it's founded on Jesus Christ, then why is it all these different saints? And when I was in Europe, why are these demons and all these gargoyles coming out of all your Catholic churches? Where is the fruit? So then the Inquisition of you, the Catholic Church, was a powerful office set up with the Catholic Church to root out and punish heresy throughout Europe and the Americas, beginning in the 12th century and continuing for hundreds and hundreds of years. The Inquisition is infamous for the severity of its tortures and its persecution of Jews and Muslims. Its worst manifestation was in Spain, where the Spanish Inquisition was a dominant force for more than 200 years, resulting in some 32,000 executions. That's your fruit. So then the Christian church says, oh, but they're wrong, and now we're doing it right because we're getting rid of Mary, and we're not going to the Pope. We go to Jesus Christ instead as our mediator, and we're doing this and we're doing that. Okay, I'll give that to you until I look at your fruit. What is your fruit in the Atlantic slave trade? What is your fruit in fighting against the injustices of our black brothers and sisters in this land? What is your fruit to the alien who is, that you call, trying to escape? What's your fruit towards them when, after all, our forefathers didn't come into this country legally? We came in and murdered everybody that was here. Once again, Christopher Columbus, what is his fruit with Catholicism when he came over here? And what has the continued fruit been of white evangelical Christianity? And now I hate to say this, but one of the things that's been hard for me in this awakening is to see my Hebrew family members, not all, but many of them, in most parts, most who are staying within the same theology that we've been taught. I see the discord. I see calling out each other and damaging each other. A lot of it based on theology. Those of my Hebrew brothers and sisters that are stepping outside, think of Big Judah, and teaching outside of this indoctrination, and how others who are my Hebrew family members that stay within those 66. I met a Hebrew man on Facebook, and he was disagreeing with me and said I was lost because of my reading of these other books, the pseudepigraphas and stuff. And at one point he said, I would love for you to go on this show and we could debate this. Well, as you will see with OneLove, and as you go to our webpage, and if you go on my Facebook page and here on YouTube, I'm not called to debate, but I'm living my life called to serve, to go out and to do the things that Yeshua HaMashiach did, and not debate and try to make somebody look wrong or beat each other up. And so I said, no. I said, I'd be more than happy, though, to talk with you in private. Well, as a little bit of time went on, he gave that up. And at the end of our conversation, he came out and he said, after I let him know the reason why I did not go public with him is because I knew his intention. His intention was going to try and make me look like a fool in front of the people. And he admitted that, yes, that's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to make you look like a clown. But then he said, but I didn't, because when I started looking on your Facebook page and the things that you were doing, I backed off from that because it looks like you're a good guy doing good things. And then he went and researched and he saw the videos of me calling out white supremacy. What made me sad about that is that that mindset is the same mindset of white evangelicalism. See, he chose not to make fun of me because he deemed me as somebody a little more valuable than what he thought because of my fruit. Just like my white evangelicals, they choose to ridicule and show injustice to people they do not value, which have been you, my black brothers and sisters. And so at the end of all of this, he said, I'll be praying for you, my dear brother, that you will come back to this truth. My response is, I will never go back to your truth because your truth is still showing fruit. That when you decide who is valuable or not, you can justify, according to your theology, who you can disrespect or clown or hate or belittle. And so I am choosing to follow my Hebrew family members. That their fruit lines up what's in my heart, which is love. OneLove is going to be a place. It is a place where regardless of where you are, even if you are still in those 66 and you believe I'm wrong, that's okay. You are my brother or my sister and I will love you because we're on a journey of revelation. And I was taught that being a white man, an American white man, and an evangelical Christian white man, and going to a seminary, a very well-known, established, and recognized, respected seminary, that I knew pretty much everything I really needed to know. Because we, after all, are the foundation of God's truth in what we teach in our education system, as well as in our spiritual system. But I swallowed that pill, thank the Most High, of that pride. And I have vowed that I will never get to a place that in my mind I think that I have all the answers or I know everything. But I, like a little child, as Yeshua said, to come unto me. And so, family, I ask that we will become like that little child again. Having to put to the side the things that we were taught. Not use that as the foundation of truth. If we use what we were taught in the education system as the foundation of truth, what will it do to anything brought into us through critical race theory? It will say it's wrong because it don't line up with our truth. What do you think they're doing in Florida right now? The white man is still determining based on what he has established as truth as the foundation to anything anybody else brings forth. And if it goes against it, they cast it. Don't you see that's what we were taught with the Bible? Anything out there that comes against what we give you, you cast it because it goes against. Well, I'm going to be reading some scriptures from the pseudepigrapha, from the Testament of Joseph. And when I read that, I'd love to know where any of us could find where that does not line up with the life of Yeshua HaMashiach. And what he's asking us as people to do and live so that our hearts will be transformed for then what comes out of our mouth and our behavior will be good because our hearts are in truth. In the book of remembrance of our ancient grandmothers, this sticks out to me for myself. And this is in chapter 7 of Grandmothers and verse 60. And I'm not going to read everything to you, but it's talking about individuals, us, who are in our mindsets per se, are going to get stuck at different levels. See, I stand on my words that all of us white people are racist. The difference is on the pendulum. Are we, KKK racist, or are we hopefully on this end where I hope to put myself? That we've worked through and we've acknowledged and we've repented and changed of our white supremacist mindset. But it's in all of us. So with my white evangelical family members, one of the first things that they're going to have to embrace is that you as black people, my black family, are people, are humans. And then they're going to have to love you even though you have black skin and we were taught all these negative things about you. And then they're going to have to embrace that you are the true chosen people. And then there's another level. See, a lot of my white evangelicals who are there to almost embrace that you are the true chosen, what's hindering them is this. They don't think a black man has any truth. And so when I send them videos of my Hebrew brothers teaching things, they won't even watch it because their racism, their mindset will get through those things. Okay, I don't hate them because they're black. Yes, I believe they have to have justice like me. I value them like me. But now I have to learn from a black man or a black woman. It's another level. That's why we're all racist to some degree. And if my people do not acknowledge it through all those degrees, like an onion being layered, they're in trouble. And this is kind of what I'm reading here about our mindset to the true Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach. I'm going to start at verse 60, and it just says, "But for others, he will be so different than what they expected that they will be hesitant to embrace him. And still others will find it hard to let go of that which they conceived him to be. And they must linger there to see if they will choose to know him as he really is. And for those who are completely taken aback by who they now see him to be, will linger there and not pass on to the fourth station. And these are those who will insist that he must be limited to the identity he was given by the traditions of their fathers." I don't see this just even as him as our black bronze, burnt bronzed, complected Yeshua HaMashiach. But I see this even as the traditions that we've been given down to believe, to only stay in the theology, in the belief of those 66 books. But again, brothers and sisters, I had to take a look at the fruit of the white evangelical church. I had to take a look at the fruit of the Catholicism. And unfortunately, I see some fruit amongst my Hebrew brothers and sisters. And that is why I'm at a place that I can no longer stay in those 66 books, because now I'm seeing fruit in a group of Hebrews. And that fruit has shown me love, acceptance, patience, forgiveness, loyalty. And that's exactly what I desire to be here in OneLove. So to you, family, if you are also wrestling in your heart, but yet you got that fear sometimes of stepping over that line of indoctrination, I want you to know that OneLove is a place for you. A place where all can run and hide. A place where you will not be judged, where you will not be rejected, you will not be condemned. I always thought, when I used to be in Chicago those 30 years, that if I could only, with some other people, build a city of refuge, a place where all of these young men who are rejected and labeled here, and some that might have done some crimes, but their hearts were good. What it would have been like to have a city of refuge where they could run to and find safety and love. And well, I didn't give up on that hope. In fact, I believe OneLove is what the Most High Yah is using. And so on Tuesday nights, please join our Neshama Shali. Go to my website, register, so I can send you the Zoom link so you can join our family. We're growing. And one thing we all have in common is that we're done with this wicked world. We're done with the religions that say one thing, but their fruit is another. And that we want to be a part of a family where we can come and experience to the best of our abilities here on earth to produce a place of perfect love that casts out fear and shame. But where our love for each other will heal, deliver, and set us free to love and to live the way Yeshua HaMashiach showed us. And then on Thursday nights, our mentor is bringing us to No More Lies class. Right now, we're in 1 Maccabees, and we're understanding the foundation of Catholicism and the evil that it was formed on. Thus, why the fruit is bad. Connect with us, family. We are a city of refuge. Well, this is your brother Dana, and I'm coming to you from the city of Atlanta, from a place in OneLove. But really, family, OneLove is a movement of people loving people. That the fruit of OneLove and those of us will be good fruit, so that the world will know that our Redeemer, the true living God, the Most High Yah, is amongst us. So family, you're welcome, and we are honored for you to join us. All right, family. Shalom.